and welcome to this episode of Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick, with the city's Communication and Marketing Department. And today we're going to talk about one of my personal favorite topics in the entire world, which is Hampton Bay Days. Welcome. Today we have with us Jim Goodbody, who is a board member and past president of the volunteer group that actually puts on the festival.
That's correct.
And Ryan LaFata from the city's tourism bureau, because it is a big event. I mean, it draws, how many people does Bay Days typically draw?
As far as attendance was, somewhere between 150 to 250,000 people.
Holy cow.
Over a 3-day weekend. And it takes a lot of people to put that event on to make those folks, feel welcome and part of the entire event, because they are part of the event.
Yeah, they really are. And I think that's part of it. I mean, for me at least, Bay Days, even though it's gotten huge, is one of those sort of small town festivals. I mean, it's a big small town festival, but you feel very connected to Hampton and the Bay and seafood and the environment, and yet it is also a wonderful party.
That's exactly right. That's the way it was designed to do that, to make everyone feel welcome. There are messages that Bay Days wants to impart back. We are a green event now, which is part
now, what does that mean, Jim?
Well, we were certified by the state of Virginia as a certified green event, where we look at the ecology end of it, recycling and everything that can be possibly taken care of. With our vendors, we ask them to use recyclable materials, and so when our trash flow is finished at the end, we can put as much back as we can into recycling versus going to a landfill.
Boy, that's hard to do with that many people.
It's very hard to do. Very hard to do.
Do you think people have a commitment to try to put stuff in the right container?
Yeah, we do. We have separate containers that are out there. One's recyclables, of course. The other one's going to be trash. They're throughout the entire site, and we do recycle as much as we possibly can, and very proud to do that.
What do you think it is about this festival that really sets it apart from some of the other festivals that we have here in Hampton Roads?
Well, we're unique. Each one's different, and we can compare us to any big event. But I think it's the closeness that we have, how we do things, and this what we focus on, being the preservation of the Chesapeake Bay.
So it really has those educational roots,
yes,
even
it does.
though it has some of the same music and food vendors that you'd find at some of the other festivals. Right. It's got that core of waterfront, bay, environment, education.
That's exactly right.
And this year is the, what anniversary?
30th.
That's pretty amazing. I mean, I'm probably gone most of those years, but in some ways, I mean, I don't remember a time when there wasn't Bay Days, but it also doesn't feel like it's been 30 years, does it?
No, 1982 was the first festival.
Yes, it was.
And it's grown, leaps and bounds since then. And, we've gone back and we have a new recommitment to the festival itself as far as education and conservation of the Chesapeake Bay. And, we're out there, we're welcoming everybody to come out and really get a grasp for what they can do for the Bay. It's our largest natural resource here in Hampton Roads, so the festival is about fun, but also the conservation of the Chesapeake Bay, and it's just continuing to grow every year, and we're excited about it.
Great. So now, if there's anybody out there who actually hasn't been to Bay Days, and I hope there aren't, because it's a wonderful thing, but just give us a little flavor of how it's organized or what kinds of areas you'll have this year.
Wow. Bay Days, the way it's set up, we've got food vendors, we have craft vendors, we have fine arts folks that are out there that are actually doing their craft, as you can actually see them do that. We have folks coming in for the Bay education part. We have
and that's a pretty large area.
We have a working waterman's display this year, where they'll be out there. The Seaport Foundation participates with Bay Days. That's the that puts on the Pirate Festival in July. We dovetail because they have a lot of the information about the Bay back, in the 1800s and 1700s that we don't have the expertise to do. So there's so many different things that fit into this thing. We for this year, for the first time, we've partnered with a group called Youth Bands, and there'll be 18 to 20 groups out there performing live music on a stage at the Bay Education area, all weekend long, and they're going to be handling a second stage for us also. And they're up and coming musicians. I've heard some of these young groups play, and they're awesome.
Interesting.
They're really awesome.
That sounds great.
It's all our teens and stuff like that do that, and they're great. And so we're excited to have them with us.
Well, one of the changes I know this year is that is in the music area. There is not the sort of national headliners that Bay Days has traditionally had. There was a decision, I guess, you guys made to scale back on that spending and also to highlight local bands. Who are some of the bands that are going to be playing?
Right.
Well, this year, some of the local bands I can name off the top of my head would be the English Channel. The DeLoreans are playing, which is a really...
they're so much fun,
yeah,
aren't
they're
they?
awesome. They're a really
gosh,
good band.
nobody can
Yeah.
sit still when the DeLoreans are out.
Yeah, the DeLoreans are one of my favorite local bands for sure. We have House and Senate. We're going to have the U.S. Air Force Blue Aces out there. Louis McGahee. We have so many local artists and regional artists that are going to be out this year, and it's a recommitment to these artists. Some of them have had great shows at Bay Days in the past, and we wanted
I bet
to bring
they
them
have
back.
been on the smaller stages or in the the lead
Right.
up time periods.
For sure, and we wanted to highlight them, and 30th anniversary, bring some of those artists back that we could remember that we had a great time hearing at Bay Days and kind of watch them grow. So.
Like Heather Edwards and her
Yeah.
country all-star band's going to play for us, but I think the treat that's going to be with that is that her dad, who is a country legend in this area, is going to be out with her and
that
performing.
sounds like
So we're theming it a little bit called Coming Home. Like I said earlier, we're going back to our roots, and we want to get that feel that we have, and you don't necessarily have to have that with a large national act to come in.
I think that's true. Well, one of the Bay Days traditions is the poster, and I understand there aren't 30 of them. It actually started in year 4
Year
or 5.
three.
Year
Right.
three,
Year
okay,
three.
so almost. And this year's poster winner is a military illustrator or former military
Right,
illustrator.
is Ryan LaFata, and he's a illustrator from NASA Langley, and we're very excited with the poster that he put together.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Very good. I mean, it's and if you look at the poster this year, there are 10 spots on that poster that have the number 30 in there.
I read that,
find that,
when I
right.
saw it, and I blew it up on my screen because I only saw it electronically. And I saw a few, but I thought, I'm going to have to get this and look at it.
Yep.
It's one of those, what do they call them, Easter eggs? One of those things that's just sort
Exactly
of
right.
hidden.
You have to look at it, right?
Now, speaking of Easter eggs, one of the most renowned of the Bay Days posters and illustrators is John Sharp.
Right.
And you've reissued 2 of his.
Crabzilla. Crabzilla in space, right?
What is it about Crabzilla?
We keep getting requests to reprint that poster. When it first was done for the 7th Bay Days, I know there was a lot of discussion. It was to put it mildly, in that kind of way, it was a lot of discussion about it, whether or not it was appropriate for Bay Days or anything like that.
I think he told you, Ryan, that he snuck it in. He kind of didn't run it through
right.
the committee
did.
process. He was an
Yes.
illustrator for the city, so he was doing it sort of an official. It was not
Right.
a competition then,
Right.
and he knew it was going to generate controversy, and so he just kind of snuck it in there at deadline.
Yeah, I remember when he first brought it out. It was unveiled in front of the committee, which I was on at that time in a different position. But first words out of my mouth, I says, "This is going to be interesting. Let's see what happens." And it sold.
Oh my gosh.
Could not keep up with it, and did
No.
a second printing and did that. So we decided to bring it back, in order to allow some folks that didn't have the opportunity. And was looking at it yesterday, and it is just as nice as it was, when it was first brought up. But you can read a lot of different things into that poster. Me personally, I see that giant crab, and that crab's not happy because we've been messing with its home.
Oh, there you go.
And other folks can look at it from a different aspect, but that's just my read on it. But it's being reissued, and only 150 copies are available. So.
I know, and people can get them at City Hall.
Yes, they can.
And if they last, you'll also be selling them at Bay Days?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
They'll be at Bay Days, and John Sharp will actually be there on the 8th, and he'll be signing his posters if you purchase them. They're $30, and you can buy them from Hampton Parks and Recreation, or you can buy them during Hampton Bay Days. And there's 150 of space, and there's 150 Crabzilla.
Well, there's not anymore because they went on sale yesterday.
That's right.
And I got my copy of Space because I didn't have that one. But I did have one of the original signed Crabzilla posters
Right.
from, a million years ago.
Yep.
I remember I was actually working at the Daily Press at the time, and we'd done a story on the controversy, and the editor came in the next day, and he's like, "These are great. I'm going to go down and buy some. Anybody who wants them, give me your check, and I'll come back, with a big
They
old
didn't last
stack."
long.
No, they really didn't last long. I mean, we went that morning because we knew
Yep.
they would be gone.
And space went just as quick.
Now, see, I didn't, was not a Trekkie, didn't get all that, but
Yeah.
my younger child's making me go back, and we're watching all the Star Treks together. So now I decided I had to have Space.
And if you go look on the parking garage, the DeLorean and Marty McFly are also there. And he just told me this year that no one's ever caught it.
Yeah,
So
no one's ever said. It's hard to see. I
Yeah.
looked at it yesterday, but it's so much fun. And sometimes when you do something like that, It has an edge to it.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's happy, draws a little controversy, but because of that edge and that uniqueness, it's got staying power.
Yes, it does. We got your attention.
Yeah.
There's no getting away from that. We got your attention with it, and it's just something that, you know, I think it's iconic as we look back on this thing, and it's part of the history of this event.
Yeah.
Look at all the posters that were done over the years. They're all great works of art.
They really are.
You know,
and I know a friend of mine, Gloria Coker, did a few.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of variety when you look at that poster history.
and when you have something like that, be able to own something like that that's been signed by the artist and things like that, it's something that you know, you're going to cherish and keep for years and years. So we're proud to be part of that. We make sure to do that as far as the artist concerned on that. We just don't. And we do a poster contest every year, so that's something that to bring out the best in everybody. And Brian was the one that won it this year, and I'm so glad he did.
He was wonderful.
You know,
and then you had
yes.
a much younger artist, you know,
Yes.
a college student who
Right.
won it the year before.
Lauren
So it's real
Lauren Webb,
variety, I
right.
think, in that too. And that gives you those different viewpoints every year, different look.
Absolutely.
So I don't think I've had you say for the cameras what date Bay Days is. I know because it's always the weekend after Labor Day, but dates, times, pertinent facts.
Sure. September 7th through the 9th. It's the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The times it'll start at noon on Friday and it'll go to 11 p.m. Starting on Saturday, it's 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. And on Sunday, it'll be noon to 6 p.m.
Now, I remember the days when there wasn't enough parking downtown and, you know, you'd have to go to the Coliseum and get a shuttle.
Right.
Pretty much people can get downtown or close to downtown. I mean, I may ride my bike this year, so I don't have to deal with the whole parking issue, but people can kind of come and go, things open up.
There's parking garages, there's surface lots downtown. They're $5, and portions of those proceeds for people that are working that will go to charitable causes. So
That's nice. A lot of those charities, I know my son's Boy Scout used to work a lot, and then the organization
Right.
gets the money for it.
Right.
Now this year with the main stage not being in the City Hall parking lots, and those are being opened up for surface lots for Bay Days parking also.
Oh, that's also nice.
will add.
As a
It's
new
gonna
City
add
Hall employee, I realized I had to ride my bike those days because there's no parking
it gets crowded.
on
Yes,
the
it does.
Thursday
You're
and
right.
Friday
It gets
before
really
Bay
crowded.
Days. Yeah. But it's also nice at lunch Friday. Some of the food vendors are open, and you can stroll around and eat downtown.
Well, there's going to be a variety from what we're seeing so far. There's going to be, I think, a very good mix as far as food goes.
Yeah, 20
Great.
to 30 food vendors and
Right.
75 arts and craft vendors is what we have right now, I believe. So.
Yes.
That should be fun. And Jim, you all do this with a vast staff of what, a couple hundred people, right?
To put Bay Days on and do it right, 1,500 people.
But I mean a paid staff. How large is your paid staff?
One person. One person only. The rest is volunteers. The
So
board of
really,
directors
it
are all
takes
volunteer. Yes.
1,500 or
1,500
so. And
to
do you
do
need
it.
any? Do you want to make a pitch right now for people
We
to?
can always use help.
Great.
Just go to our website, baydays.com, and there's a volunteer page in there if you'd like to be involved with this thing. They're 4-hour shifts. You know, there's many jobs that can be done, and the more the better. We have T-shirts for everybody.
Free T-shirt.
There you
Make sure
go.
you get that free shirt. So it's.
And you're going to be there
do that.
anyway, right? You got to go to Bay Days.
Might as well if you want to get involved with it, you know, because I've seen a lot of folks that have come in as a 4-hour volunteer that wind up staying with that event for years and years and years, and work their way up through the ranks, so to speak, and become an integral part of the event. So yeah, it takes 1,500 people to
I
put
think
it on.
there's a little bit of a perception that this is a city event. It's not. You guys are not city staff. I mean, I know Ryan is here and he's helping you
Right.
with publicity, but it is not a city sponsored or paid for event.
It's a marriage between the city and Bay Days. You know, 'cause
We do partner.
Some service we do partner with. There are some services that we require from the city of Hampton, and it works vice
Parks
versa.
and Rec and a lot
That's exactly
of
right.
police and things.
Police,
Okay.
fire protection, things like that, which we have to have.
Absolutely. When you get that many people
that
downtown,
many people,
it's
given
crowd
that fact,
control
and
is a challenge.
That's exactly right. And they do a very good job with what we have, and we've got, I think, decent resources to put the event on. And I think one of the things that's key for Bay Days, and we stress this all the time, is one word, and that's called quality. Not quantity, quality. You know, I think that's key.
Maybe that's one of the reasons it does stand out as
Yes.
being a little special, a
We
little
want it to be a
different
quality.
than some
We
of the
want it
other
to be a
festivals.
quality family event, where you can. And for me, I'm not originally from here, you know, and I call Hampton home, and I'm very proud of the fact that we put this event on in our home. And it's just it's great. All the other events are great. We have such diverse, you know, backgrounds in this city, and of course Bay Days is the crown jewel of the summer festivals and the city festivals, and
I really
we're
think
happy
it
to be
is.
with it. Yeah.
Now you have every year, and I'm not sure people always know it. Wait a minute, it's not called a marshal. Someone who is your kind of public face.
Commodore.
Commodore. There
Yes.
you go. Military/boating term.
Right.
And this year's Commodore is.
Kirsten Talkin Spalding. She's with Fort Monroe. The Fort Monroe, obviously, this is one of our biggest news stories here in Hampton this year. Fort Monroe being designated a national monument on November 1st, 2011. So we have her, and we're very excited to partner with her. And
She has just jumped in. You know, anywhere you go in Hampton, you see her. She's so involved. She's out at Fort Monroe.
That's exactly right.
Doing amazing things. So I think that's pretty exciting, and it ties the Park Service into
Absolutely.
the city. And obviously, a lot of their missions overlap. They're preservationists and taking care of the bay and the resources that we have.
We're glad we have her.
I bet you are.
We really are. I'm excited about it. It's something that it's an honorary position, but it's a very I think prestigious position to be Commodore of Bay Days. It's just something that doesn't happen, and we're so happy and so proud to have her.
That's great. That's great. And it was our own Tony Reyes, who now works for
was
the
last
city,
year.
but
That's
didn't
exactly right.
last year, who held that role.
Last garrison commander at Fort Monroe, and we were
Brought tears to my eyes at that closing ceremony.
We
Oh
were
my gosh.
thrilled to have him, and he's a tough act to follow. So it's
that's true. But
great
Kirsten
guy.
can do it.
Yes, he can do it.
She's amazing.
She can do it.
Well, is there anything I've forgotten to ask you about?
We have a couple events that we haven't touched on. We do have the Bay Days 8K this year, which will take place on Sunday the 9th.
Okay.
Right.
You can get information from baydays.com. I believe it's $40 registration. We also have Tidewater Dock Dogs. They're doing this inaugural summer splashdown. They're going to be out there in front of the Virginia Air and Space Center. I believe we have at least the top 2 or 3 dogs in the country competing. I'm not sure if we have number 1. I know.
All
we
right.
have
What
number
is a
2 and
dock
3.
dog? I should probably know, but I
What
don't.
they do is they have a big water tank, and they have dogs, and you can actually register your dog as well. You can get that information from our website too on how to do that, or tidewaterdockdogs.com. You can check that out. But they'll throw some kind of stick or some kind of floating device, and the dog will have to jump, and they see how far the dog can jump. And they have all kinds of different categories for that. But it's really neat to see, the different breeds of dogs and the ones that can jump as how
Right.
far they can jump. But it's a new event to Bay
Mine's
Days.
got
and-
vertical leap, but I don't know that.
This is
it
well,
would be anywhere near the water.
they've got it. No doubt about that. But it's becoming a very big nationwide too.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
we're fortunate to have them here to be partnered with us, and we think it's going to be grow into a long-term relationship, so we can have that. So it's another facet of Bay Days, and it again goes back to the original focus of the protection of the Chesapeake Bay.
Right.
And of course, our Bay Education area, which is, our highlight every year. So
Yep.
we have so many things going on. Just there's something for everyone at Hampton Bay Days, and I just encourage everyone to come out and check it out and have a good time.
And enjoy it.
Great. Well,
Yep.
I'll see you there, I
You
hope.
can count on it.
Thank you. And I hope I'll see you at Bay Days as well. Don't forget, weekend after Labor Day, downtown Hampton, pretty much all the time. Thank you.